Welcome to this lecture about the spread of Islam worldwide. You find a corresponding chapter 1.1.6 in my book, Ask Your Muslim Friend. You can download this book on our website. I suggest that you read the pages 31 to 42 before watching this video. These page numbers refer to the English version of my book. If you have another translation, the page numbers are most likely different. The topics we are going to discuss now are the growth of Islam worldwide, then some basic developments in Christian-Muslim relations within the 6 main geographical areas of the world. Next, the Muslim population compared to the adherents of the other major religions. And the influence of the Islamic Revolution in Iran in 1980 on the Muslim world. In this lecture, I briefly summarize the historical development of Islam in relation to the other major religions during 1922 to 2020. It is essential to have some insights concerning the historical religious happenings of this time. The following important features can be mentioned. Next to Christianity, Islam has become the second largest religion in the world. Islam is the fastest growing religion, and the Islamic Revolution in Iran influenced the zeal and propagation of Islam worldwide. The Muslim population has increased by over 235% from 1950 until 2000. The largest world religions are first Christianity, then Islam, and then Hinduism, Chinese folk, and Buddhism. Please see the figures and graph on pages 32 and 33 in my book. The world can be divided into different geographical areas. First, Asia, second, Africa, thirdly, Europe, fourthly, Pacific, fifthly, North America, and 6th point, Latin America. In the following, I elaborate on the growth of Islam and Christian-Muslim relations in these 6 geographical areas. Let's start with Asia. Asia is the birthplace of Islam. The Arabian Peninsula saw the initial establishment of Islamic civilization and the expansion of Islamic rule under the Rashidun and Umayyad Caliphates. Islamic conquests extended eastward, reaching regions such as Persia, modern-day Iran, Central Asia, the Indian subcontinent, and parts of Southeast Asia. The establishment of Muslim empires, including the Abbasids, Safavids, and Mughals, further solidified Islam's presence in these regions. On page 33 until 35 of my book, I give a short survey on these issues and list some hotspots in Asia and the Middle East. These are countries where the tension is especially critical because of various reasons. The countries, people groups, and areas of these hotspots are as follows: Israel and Palestine, Afghanistan, Kashmir, Indonesia, the Kurds, the land of India, and China. In addition, the tension between the Sunni and Shia Muslims appears to be a constant problem, and wars erupt frequently. In South Asia, three main Muslim political powers emerged. First, the Aceh, the most important Muslim power, was based firmly in northern Sumatra and controlled much of the region between Southeast Asia and India. Secondly, the second Muslim power was the Federation of Sultanates on the Malay Peninsula. Then the third power emerged in Java, where several Muslim powers defeated the local Majapahit kingdom in the early 16th century. Some more interesting facts can be mentioned. Islam spread mainly through trade and commerce. Also, we can see that already in the late 15th century, Islam had been introduced to the Philippines. After 1990, there was a significant increase in Muslims converting to Christianity. This is mainly due to the widespread of media. While Muslims gained religious rights and freedom in the West, on the other hand, persecution of religious minorities by extreme Islamic movements in some Muslim countries increased. Saudi Arabia has one of the world's worst records on religious freedom. Vast amounts of money are being spent to propagate Islam worldwide by building mosques, sending Muslim missionaries throughout the world, printing literature, promoting Islam through TV and radio programs, and using the internet. Islam in Africa had a dynamic and turbulent history, with reforming movements and dynasties clashing and succeeding each other. As we have seen, Islam has dominated North Africa since 750, and later in the 1880s, Islam had also taken root in many more northern and middle African countries. In addition, I'd like to list some important facts concerning the spread of Islam and Christian-Muslim relations in Africa. Over 17% of Africa's population is of Arab origin. The confrontation is high because aggressive Islamic movements and Christian gaining converts within Muslim communities. In Sudan and Nigeria, for instance, this has led to war or mass violence. Persecutions of Christians by Muslims have increased, especially in Egypt, Algeria, Sudan, Nigeria, and the Comoros. Muslim missionaries' efforts have extended into most African countries, even in the south. Muslims have been gaining many converts from traditional African religions, mainly through funded education, aid projects, and grants. Islam tolerates some traditional African values. For instance, allowing a man to have more than one wife, which of course the Quran allows, thus making conversion easier to Islam than Christianity. In the 17th century, Islam came to the south, namely to South Africa, by importing slaves. The apartheid policy favored African peoples' conversion to Islam because Christianity was seen as the white man's religious oppression. In 1957, the Muslim leader Ahmed Deedat founded the Islamic Propagation Center International in South Africa and started to publish and distribute literature and videos worldwide. Many of these publications aim to ridicule the Bible and thus counteract Christian missionary efforts. Now let's look to Europe. The growth of Islam is mainly due to immigration from the former colonies of the great European powers and the high birth rate of these immigrants. More immigrants came from the Balkan states, especially also from Turkey. It can be said that most of these immigrant Muslims are rather nominal, but many became devout or even radical as a kind of reaction to the world of infidels in Europe. The following additional characteristics can be said concerning the situation of Muslims in Europe and the Christian-Muslim relations. Islam also spread by Muslim men marrying Western women. The majority of Muslims in Europe belong to the Sunni group. Also, it can be said that the Ahmadiyya movement is prominent since it enjoys religious freedom in Europe. This is not the case in countries of origin, namely Pakistan. The ascetic, mystic branch of Sufi Muslims especially attracts European people. Young Muslims are more skeptical of traditional Islam, which their parents brought with them. Many are searching for a more modern and enlightened form of Islam. Since 1989 up to 2000, Russia's population has increased to about 10 million people. The next geographical area which we are going to discuss is the Pacific. Before 1950, there were hardly any Muslims in this part of the world. I like to list a few characteristics. In Australia, the Muslim population is about 2.6%. Immigrants are from over 70 different countries. Some Muslims came from Southeast Asia to work in the Australian pearl industry. Many Lebanese Muslims came to Australia to flee from civil war in 1975 in that country. In your group, please discuss the situation of Muslims concerning the growth and Christian-Muslim relations in the Pacific. Please feel free to consult the internet for up-to-date information. And how did Islam spread in North America? Much immigration can be described in 4 waves. First, the earliest Muslims arrived after 1875 from countries such as Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Israel. The second wave of Muslim immigrants came from the Middle East after the First World War. The third wave was from 1947 to 1960. These were mainly Muslims coming to America from Eastern European countries, such as Yugoslavia, Albania, and the Soviet Union. The fourth wave was after 1965, when America sponsored a new immigration bill. Preferences were given to relatives of US residents and those with special occupational skills. As a result of the Iranian Revolution, many Shia Muslims immigrated to America. It is estimated that there are about 1 million Iranians in America. Because of the war, also many Kurdish people have also immigrated to America. In addition, many well-trained Muslims from India and Pakistan came to live in the US. It is a fact that Islam has a significant growth in America, and by the year 2005, it was the second largest religion in the States, with about 4.7 million adherents. In Canada, Muslims came after the Second World War, especially international students. I'd like to mention some more interesting facts about the growth of Christian-Muslim relations. Islam is gaining the most converts from prisoners and university campuses. The immigrants were mostly single men of Muslims who were seeking labor. Only later the family followed. The majority of converts are black people. Finally, let us look at Latin America. The history of Muslims in Brazil begins with importing African slave labor. From 1550, the Portuguese began to trade African slaves to work in the sugar plantations. The next period of Islam was primarily the result of Muslim immigration from the Middle East and Southeast Asia. Some interesting facts can be mentioned. First, today some 11 million Syrian and Lebanese immigrants live in Brazil. 10% of these are Muslims, while the others claim to be Catholics. Secondly, Brazil's Muslims population is about 1.5 million. Thirdly, Argentina has a large population of Muslims, mostly Arabs. And the fourth point is Saudi Arabia has built many prestigious mosques in Latin America. It is important to note that the spread of Islam varied in each region and was influenced by a combination of military conquests, trade networks, migration and missionary efforts. Each continent's cultural and historical context shaped how Islam took root and developed within diverse societies. The growth of Islamic influence in certain regions has led to religious persecution and limitations of religious freedom for minority groups. This has resulted in marginalization, discrimination and challenges to human rights in some contexts. It is important to approach the spread of Islam with a nuanced understanding, acknowledging its positive contribution and the challenges it has faced. By recognizing and addressing these critical issues and promoting dialogue, understanding, and of course respect, we can work towards a more inclusive and peaceful future where diverse religions and cultural identities coexist harmoniously. Please let me know if you have specific questions. You find more information in my book. See you again soon. Good day and God bless you.